Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ellie and today's video is going to be a what's on my Kindle, specifically books that I have out currently through Kindle Unlimited that I want to read this summer. I wanted to upload this video at the start of May and it is currently the 1st of August, so I am quite behind on this, but I just wanted to get it up because since I did my last what's on my Kindle video, I think I have read or at least attempted and returned pretty much all of the books that I'd mentioned in that, so it's completely fresh. The first book I have is Smoking Gun by Laini Lawson, and this is the first book in the Bunkhouse series. And sorry if I keep looking down, I have like a list on my iPad of all of the books because I find it easier than scrolling through my Kindle to try and find them, so I'm going to be reading off this. Smoking Gun is a brother's best friend, secret friends with benefits, small town romance with steam and swoon. It has a happily ever after and is a cowboy romance a series that are all interconnected standalones. To me, summer just means cowboy, small town romance, so I really love cowboy romances and I just want to read more of them. The second book I have is For Love or Honey by Stacey Hart, and this is Blumsby's book 1, and this is a small town enemies to lovers rom-com. This sounds like our male main character. He comes into the small Texas town and he is a businessman and I think he's trying to buy up farms, and our heroine owns a farm and he wants to buy hers. So I think this could be really cute. He challenges her to show him the small town ropes and she is motivated by the prospect of seeing him make a fool of himself. Her farm is in danger, the town is in upheaval, and he will stop at nothing to get what he wants. Then we have It's Not Home Without You by C. Lamari. This is a homecoming book 1 and we have another small town romance, and this one is Second Chance. In high school our two characters dated. He was the town's golden boy and she lived in a trailer park. It's been 7 years since high school and they thought they moved on, and then she comes home to find her boyfriend is cheating on her, so she goes back to the town where she went to high school, and the guy that she was in love with then is still there and he is marrying a girl that tried to become between them, but a few weeks before he gets married the truth comes out. I feel like I'm either gonna love this or I'm gonna hate it, but I just thought it sounded really interesting and like I really want to know what that truth is. I feel like I don't read a ton of Second Chance, and the fact that he is already engaged to someone just makes me really intrigued to see how it's all going to play out. Then I have The Way You Shine by Amelia Chasten, and this is in the Lawson Hill series, but I haven't actually put which book number it is, but I would assume that this is the first book. This one is a single dad and nanny romance. He is the older single dad who is grumpy and quiet, and our heroine has just left a toxic relationship, quit her job and has been living out of her car until the guy helps her get back onto her feet, gives her a job, a room in his house, and they have a 3-month deal before she is going to leave. She shows him how to feel alive again for the first time in years. This sounds extremely similar to a book that I finished reading last week and I did really enjoy it, so I think this is going to be a good one as well. I do really love a nanny romance. Then I have a sports romance, and that is Tutoring the Player by Rebecca Genshak. This is the first book in the Campus Wallflower series, and this is an opposites attract hockey romance. So our heroine sounds more of the good girl type. She prefers good guys who are responsible and sable. And then our hero is a beer drinking, quick-witted, tattooed hockey player, and he asks her to tutor him. Love a tattooed hero. But he is known as a player and suddenly she is thrown into a world of bad boys and bad decisions. I feel in this one we're going to get a heroine who comes out of her shell a little bit and a hero that will do anything for the girl he loves. Then we have Power by Cassandra Robbins, and this is an age gap billionaire romance. If you watched my last What's on my Kindle video, I think pretty much half of the books I had downloaded were age gap romances, so it's no surprise that we have another one here. This is an age gap complete standalone love story about an attorney called Jet and the woman who brings him to his knees. Okay, so the hero is the heroine's mother's fiance, but they have a secret encounter and things grow from there. So this is definitely forbidden. I feel it's going to be very spicy. Then we have another cowboy romance, and that is Spur of the Moment by Carly Brunner. And this is the first book in the Bell Buckle series. Our heroine returns to her family ranch in Bell Buckle, but she has no intent of staying. She's only there long enough to figure out where to land next, but one road trip later, she's convinced she doesn't know what she wants. Our hero is Bailey, who has given more of himself to the 2 ranches he works on than his personal life, but one thing he knows for sure is Letty is the girl he's going to marry. When she leaves about saying goodbye after her 18th birthday, he's convinced he'll never see her again. That is until she's falling off a ladder and into his arms. Even after 5 years, he's still lost in those baby blues of hers and falls impossibly harder in a few days alone with her. But coming back to Bell Buckle doesn't mean she's here to stay. She's already left once, so what's stopping her this time? I can just picture the hero in this being extremely sweet and caring, and if she has a hard moment, I feel like he's just going to be there whenever she needs him. This is just sounds like exactly what I love in a small town cowboy romance. Something a little bit different now, we have Kings of Chaos by Eve Ashwood. This is the first book in the Dirty Broken Savages series, and this is a full-length, dark, new adult romance with enemies to lovers, love-hate themes, and a slightly psycho heroine for even more psychotic men. I think this is a why choose. I don't read a ton of dark romances, but I do really enjoy why choose romances. This heroine sounds very different to a lot of typical heroines. She has a list of 6 names on it, 6 people who wronged me, hurt me, and took everything from me, and 6 people that turned me into the monster I am now. I've crossed every name off but one. One more name, one more death. Should be simple. But it turns out revenge is a messy business, and when I end up at the wrong place at the wrong time, I don't know if I can say that word on here, I totally for brutal, twisted, gorgeous men. And lucky for me, the last name on my list is someone they've got their own grudge against. So instead of killing me, they offer me a deal. They'll give me a chance to exact my vengeance, and in exchange, all they want is me. I just really love the idea of the revenge in this. I'm really interested to learn the heroine's backstory and why she's going after these people. Then we have Love Notes and Lifelines by Avery Maxwell, and this is Single Dad Hotline Book 1. So as you can probably guess, this is a single dad romance. The heroine in this works at a hotline for single dads who can call up and get advice, and one day the hero calls up and obviously gets talking to the heroine. She's not allowed to give him his name or get personal or anything like that. It's literally just answer the calls and give advice. But when the hero calls in, she realises that he is her boss's boss. In the boardroom, he's rich, powerful and detached. But on the other end of the phone, he's vulnerable and reeling from becoming the guardian to his young nieces. I'm not thinking straight when I offer him a little help off the books. When the single dad hotline blows up my life, what's a girl to do but say yes to everything he's offering? I feel this is going to be sweet but could potentially have some hard, vulnerable moments in it. Then we have a fantasy. There aren't many fantasies downloaded at the moment because for me, I kind of read fantasy in autumn and winter, and summer is all about romance, but you know, I've got to have one downloaded. So I have Haunting Beauty by Meg Ann and Kayla Rain, and this is a Death Book 1 of the Mate Games. So this book is for fans of Supernatural and American Horror Story. I honestly haven't watched either of those, so we'll see. Don't really know what to expect. But this is another installment in the Mate Games universe. I haven't read any of the others, so I hope I can read this and it's not gonna not make sense. This is a spicy paranormal series with a cast of anti-heroes utterly devoted to the heroine, even if they haven't realised it yet. It contains a cursed berserker with a primal energy, a dastardly pirate captain who deals in pixie dust, a possessive fae dragon shifter who was fond of hand necklaces, a mysterious southern gentleman who'd show her what he liked if only he could remember. This sounds like it's going to be kind of crazy. Then we have another hockey romance, and that is Simbin by Anastasia White. This is a steamy enemies to lovers college romance. It's book 1 in the Sinners on the Ice series and can be read as a standalone. The heroine is a freshman at the university, and the hero is the centre for the hockey team at the university. He has his sights set on a professional hockey career, but Colton keeps his issues under the wraps about his family drama. When him and Ava collide, a fierce attraction blossoms between them despite their mutual hatred. Ava wants to avoid Colton at any cost. Unfortunately, destiny continues to step in and their paths keep crossing, leading to more tension and unexpected feelings. Colton uses harsh words and offensive behaviours to push Ava away. She discovers he has a softer side beneath the tough exterior. And while they both confront their demons, will they realise they have more in common than they think? Or will they end up hating each other more? Knowing that he is kind of mean and pushes her away, if it's a bully romance, I expect it. But I don't know how I'm going to feel about this in just like a college romance, so we'll see. Then I have Tarnished Empire by Ava Harrison. This is a standalone. The heroine's plan was simple: get invited onto his yacht, find information to destroy him, but she wasn't prepared for Alaric Prince. Dangerous and seductive, he trapped me in his gilded cage. He calls me dove, easily preyed on, easily broken. A man that ruthless only wants to crush me. I must resist the temptation to let him. He is my father's enemy, at war with my family, a danger to me. Falling for him would be my demise. But if my plan works, it will be his. I feel this is going to be definitely enemies to lovers and forbidden, and I feel there's going to be a lot of sneaking around in this as well. Next is One Pucked Up Pack by Sarah Blue. This is part of the Pucked Up Omegaverse, and I have never read an Omegaverse, I don't think, but I have watched a lot of recommendation videos about it and heard a lot of people talk, and I just really want to give it a go. And this is a hockey Omegaverse romance, which I thought was really interesting. In this, our heroine is called Charlotte, and she finds her dream pack landing in her lap just a year before she's due to graduate. But life is never that easy, especially when the men she falls in love with are all getting drafted to different hockey teams. Long distance is hard. It's even harder when the people you trusted the most aren't there for you in your worst moment. Charlotte thought she could move on. They would never put her over hockey, and Charlotte knows her worth. Unfortunately, she can't seem to forget about the 3 men she fell in love with on the ice, especially when they'll do whatever it takes to make this pack work and prove they're the right alphas for her. I do like wolf shifter romances, and I like why choose romances, so that's why I think I'm gonna really like Omegaverse romances. Then I have something that really intrigued me. This is Withered Rose by Felicity Elaine. This is book 1 in the Withered Rose trilogy, and in this one our hero is a mafia boss, but our heroine is a Christian woman. So this is a dark Christian romance, which just really intrigued me, to be honest. Rosa and Amory have no business getting involved with one another, but they also have no choice. So Rosa is his captive bride, kidnapped and forced to marry him as payment for her brother's debt. All she wants is to live a life free of crime and violence, but now she's shackled to the most dangerous man in New York City. Amory is looking forward to having a beautiful young bride, but he is a mafia underboss. Her faith is standing between them, and he hates that. The sting of her refusal to marry him runs deep, but something in Amory feels drawn to Rosa despite their differences. Maybe she is the calm to his storm, maybe she is the chaos she secretly craves. Whatever the case, they're in it together. Then we have Her List by Kylie Kent. This is book 1 in the Seattle Soulmate series. The heroine in this one is Amalia, I think that's how you say her name. So her friends call her picky, and her mother thinks she's going to end up an old spinster, but she just has standards, and these standards are neatly laid out in a checklist, one I tick off after each first date. Lately I've decided it's safer to have one-off encounters, no expectations, no lists, just an exchange without a goodbye. That was working well until I met Axel, the only man I couldn't make an unnoticed escape from. The guy who seems to be checking off every item on my list all within the first 24 hours. So he finds her checklist and makes it his own personal mission to check everything off on this checklist for her, because he starts out just because he's bored, but he actually ends up enjoying spending the time with her. I know, it just sounded cute. Then I have The Summer of Dandelions by Whitney Amazine, and this is Meadow Hills book 1. It is part of a series, but it can be read as a standalone. And the tropes included in this one are fake dating, dual POV, single dad, nanny, small town, no third act breakup, perfect, closed door, rom-com full of tension, banter, exposed forearms with summertime Gilmore Girls vibes. I mean, what more could you want? Addison is the heroine in this one. She is fired from her job and kicked out of her apartment by her roommate, so she has run out of luck and cash. She can practically see her dream of winning the Miss Meadows title drifting away from her. This is her last chance to win. No more excuses and no more distractions, not even her ex, who is the host of the pageant. When a live-in nanny position opens up in town, she sends off a quick prayer and a pink resume, hoping the new job will be her saving grace. But her answered prayer quickly transforms into an unexpected hurdle. Not only is her gorgeous new boss completely distracting, the single dad Perry also happens to be the restaurateur who had her fired. Perry can't fire her from this job though, because she's the only nanny who his children get along with. Now he's forced to bring Addison and her contagious dimpled smile on family trips and pretend he's not attracted to her. With his dad retired and ready to move, he has 6 months left to get married so he can inherit his childhood home. Addison might be the solution to all of Perry's problems, especially when she agrees to a fake relationship that could buy him more time and help Addison prove to her unbearable ex she's not only moved on but upgraded. The only thing they have to do is ignore the annoying, sizzling chemistry between them if they are going to accomplish what's necessary to finally accomplish their dreams. I said last time it was a lot of age gap romances. I think this time there's just like a lot of single dad and nanny romances, but they're always just so fun. Then we have A Summer Ever After by Courtney Keisel. This is a no spice rom-com. Finding the right guy to spend happily ever after with, that's the hard part, but I have a foolproof plan. I'm taking the tropes that work in romance books and applying them to my love life. Only one bed, never fails. Caring for someone when they're sick, a classic. Who did this to you? Seals the deal every time. But the more I try to force romance, the more feelings naturally progress with the one man who is off limits. Walker, the guy I've had a secret crush on since 7th grade, not to mention my best friend's elder brother. Dating Walker crosses BFF lines I swore I'd never cross. Plus he hates Sunset Harbour and his pro-golf career will take him off the island as fast as he came, sending me back to the land of singlehood, loneliness and broken hearts. At the end of the day, I don't want to be the fool in my foolproof plan. I think this just sounds like it's going to be a fun time. I've been finding lately that I don't always want to read books with spice. I've been trying to find some books that are non-spice to give a go, and this just sounds like the perfect summer read. Then the final book I have downloaded is On the Way to You by Candy Steiner, and this is a road trip romance. So again, this just gives me all of the summer vibes. This one we have two strangers who meet and end up going on a road trip together, which just sounds really fun. We shared the same space, the same car, the same hotel room, and we were strangers. One day we'd be laughing, the next we wouldn't speak. Emery was surrounded by impenetrable walls, but I wanted in. Discovering his journal changed everything. I read his thoughts, words not meant for anyone else's eyes, and the more I learned about him, the harder I fell. It turned out nothing made Emery Reed happy, and I wanted to change that. I earned his trust by violating his privacy. As wrong as it was, it worked, until one entry revealed a darkness I never knew existed, a timer I knew was ticking. Suddenly what made me happy was saving Emery from himself. I just didn't know if I could. That does kind of make me anxious because I love the whole idea of a road trip, especially to read during the summer. But the fact she reads his diary, you just know it's all going to blow up later on in the book. That just makes me so nervous. But I have read a couple of books by this author and I have enjoyed them. So that is all of the books that I currently have downloaded on Kindle Unlimited to read over the summer, although we only have a couple of weeks left of that, so we'll see how many of these I actually manage to tick off before the autumn gets to us, and then I will want to read nothing but fantasy. But let me know if you have read any of these books. What are the books at the top of your summer TBR? Although I suppose as summer's nearly ending, I could also ask, what was your favourite book that you have read this summer? But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again next week.